Rogers, your host of this edition of Sportsman's News Television. I'm in Dillingham, Alaska, on my way to the Nushagak River with Alaska kingfishers. This is a great fishery. The Nushagak is known for, in most years, the largest run of king salmon in the whole state of Alaska, with as many as 300,000 to 400,000 kings that will come up this river each year. The season opens around the 20th of June each year. We're here basically the July 4th weekend, which by many people is considered the peak of the king season. So we're really looking for a great week. I know you're going to enjoy this edition of Sportsman's News Television.
Alaska Kingfishers is located approximately 350 miles southwest of Anchorage, Alaska. Visitors will fly into Dillingham, where they will board a chartered float plane which will deliver them to the Nushagak River system, where they'll spend the next 4 days targeting world-class king salmon and all the other salmon species available at that time. The Nushagak, or the Nush as many people call it, is about 280 miles long, and the first 30 miles from the bay has a big tidal influence on it. Bob Kratzer with Alaska Kingfishers has done an absolutely phenomenal job of situating his camp in the appropriate spot to make sure you get great fishing and capitalize on the largest run of king salmon that run in the state of Alaska.
Well, we just arrived here at the Nushagak camp for Alaska Kingfishers, and this is a true wilderness camp. They have their dome tents set up here. As you notice, each one has a different name on it. Here's fox, we're in caribou, we have moose over here. They can facilitate up to 18 fishermen at a time. Then the larger tents are for the eating facilities, cooking facilities, and they have a shower tent over here, washroom tent that we'll kind of go to as the next few days go on. But this is really this is how most of the facilities you'll see in a lot of these wilderness settings are. This is my first experience in a tent camp itself while fishing, and there are a number of outfits on the Nushagak, and the vast majority of them are tent camps. So this will be a little bit different. So let's kind of go inside and take a look at the inside of our home for the next few days. Okay, there's 2 bunks in each bed, each tent, sleeping bags. You can have some little problems with mosquitoes up here and black flies this time of year, but so far we haven't had that experience. The cooler, a little bit of wind, that actually helps keep the bug population down. So, but you do have this to take care of you while you're in here sleeping. There are 1 or 2 mosquitoes flying around in the room. As you look here behind us, there are some hanging areas for your waders, your coats at the end of the day, any clothes that might get wet, because you do have a tendency to get a lot of rain up here, especially this time of year. So, and rain isn't all so bad either, but it's a lot better than having 80-degree temperature this time of year. That's when the bugs can really become a problem. But there's some shelving here for different items that from your bags, and it's really like having a little hotel room. Here for a lot of the lunches, what they do is they set out sandwich materials. You make a sack lunch to take it on the boat with you, and then this is the area that we come into for all of the meals, morning, noon, and night. Up here on the ceilings you can see the signatures and the little stories from the people that have come here from over the years. And in fact, it looks like they've got it separated into actual years on the river.
After settling into camp, the group wastes no time hitting the water for an afternoon of chum fishing on the fly.
So Bob, what type of a fly is that you're tying on there for us today?
This is a just an articulated ostrich hurled type fly. It's got a little bit of color to it. I really don't have a particular name for it. It's just kind of got a lot of soft movement to it. I like to just swing the flies the best I can for the chums. They tend to respond better to a swung fly versus a stripped fly, but sometimes in the soft water you got to strip them a little bit just to get a little movement on them.
Floating line?
Yes. Yeah, chums don't tend to lay in very deep water, so if you use a floating line, you know, you can kind of get down just far enough to be in their face, but not so far that you're down on the bottom.
Front of them, they really form some teeth in front by the time they're into their cycle a bit more, and that's where they get their name dog from.
Yep. Yeah, because they get two canine type teeth on them.
Yeah. And they really start coloring up the longer they've been in the river.
Right. Yep. This one's been in here a little bit.
Yeah.
Hasn't been here a real long time, but a little bit.
The three gentlemen sharing the boat and the bank with Kent Danjanovich today are Michael and Robert Hill and Monty Cade from Naples, Florida. They're after chum salmon on the fly. The limit's 4 per day, and although many people will turn their nose up at the chum salmon, they make pretty great table fare, and I'll tell you what, on a fly rod, there's nothing more aggressive and not a better fighter. Pound for pound, one of the best fish in Alaska to catch, and a great way to spend your first afternoon banging the fly rod. Catching huge numbers of dog salmon on a fly rod is super exciting, but it isn't the reason that people flock to this region. It's the prolific run of Alaskan king salmon that bring people back each and every year. With numbers averaging over 100,000 each and every year, with fish ranging in the 15 to 25 pound range, this is why Bob's boats average 48 kings per day. It's absolutely phenomenal. A father, son, and grandfather combination last year landed 172 fish in one afternoon. It truly is one of the greatest Alaska king fisheries of all time. Having spent over 20 years fishing these waters, Bob has concentrated his guiding time on the river down to a 30-day window that ultimately encompasses the best days of the run. Traditionally, it's from the second week in June until nearly the end of July. Much preparation goes into cramming a whole fishing season into such a brief window, but their high repeat client rates are the proof that they strive to offer their fishermen the best king salmon fishing opportunities possible. Up to 20 guests can be accommodated in each 4-day fishing trip, so booking early is essential to securing great dates.
Well, as you can see, the Nushagak River has a lot to offer. Here with Alaska Kingfishers this last few days, we've had some great opportunities for a lot of king salmon, chum salmon. We've been catching multiple fish a day on fly rods. Bob, I just really can't say enough about your operation. You have a great camp, a great reputation. You're probably the most talented guide I've ever worked with, and I really want to commend you and thank you for a great week.
Thank you very much. Glad you enjoyed it.
Alaska Kingfishers on the Nushagak River, Bristol Bay, Alaska. Doesn't get better than this. Thanks for joining us on this edition of Sportsman's News Television.